Now, last week I was out, but James Duggan had a ton to say about the update, about the expansion upcoming, and he had a follow-up that we're going to play right now. Take it away, Duggan.
Thanks, Destin. Sorry I couldn't be there. I was too busy going flawless in trials. No prestige raid yet for me, though. Anyway, let's talk about the Destiny 2 State of the Game update. I want to give you my thoughts on it. In addition to all of this being, I think, good for the game and moving it in a good direction, the outstanding question in my mind is one of the idea of Destiny 2 being a collection game and also being a sequeled release, that we will have a Destiny 3 and a Destiny 4, and all of this stuff will only be good for a certain amount of time before all my progress is wiped. I'm having a really hard time rationalizing that in the context of the direction the game is going. So anyway, what I'm going to do is go through the points that they talked about, from what I think are the worst for the game to what I think are the best. The worst thing, I think, is the reputation tokens. They said the acquisition rate will be increased as well as the cost, at which point I ask why. But anyway, why do I even want these? You know, the question for why I want reputation tokens has still not been answered. When it comes to destination-specific reputation tokens and reputation rewards, there is very little there that I want unless I'm specifically going for a transmog set. But for me, I think that each destination rep vendor should sell one or two really worthwhile items, an example being Uriel's gift, or how about ships, sparrows, and emotes that are specific to the planet, instead of just the armor sets. And this is stuff that is locked behind bright engrams. Destiny 2 is not a free-to-play game. This is not a subscription-based game. This is a conventionally monetized $60 release that has DLC that costs money. We do not need a supplemental microtransaction system that is inhibiting content like ships and sparrows and emotes. But let's move on. The gunsmith in particular will have rotating random mods for sale. That's cool. I had to grind to get like the min-max mods, but ultimately I'm not seeing a cool gameplay implication from these mods, so I think the mod system in particular just needs a bigger rework, and this is a cool band-aid for the time so you can become theoretically optimal more quickly, which I think is really nice. Next up is specific loot acquisition. So this is definitely fixing an issue, there's no doubt about that. Anybody who played Iron Banner Season 1 can attest to the fact that it's really annoying and terrible when you turn in 80 engrams and you don't get the full armor set from that. That sucks as a player. So this is an objective fix for that, which is great, but it does present a larger problem. For me, I have the Season 1 Iron Banner gear. I have the Season 1 Trials gear. Why do I want the Season 2 Iron Banner gear? Is it because Destiny is a collection game? Is it because I'm going around and kind of OCD getting all of this stuff? Well, that's kind of mutually exclusive in my mind with the idea of a Destiny 3 coming and wiping out all my progression. And now that we know that that is the cadence, I'm not really likely to do that content. Also, Season 2 and seasons in general are a supplemental system that presents the same content as new instead of providing an increased level of engagement in that content. As an example, seasons I would classify as breadth of content. Something like ranked PvP I would classify as depth of content. And I think we all want more depth of content in Destiny 2. Next up is Faded Engrams. This is great. I'm missing Vigilance Wing. I'm going to be happy to get it. At least exotics confer interesting gameplay, so the idea of collecting a bunch of those every week is more interesting to me than something like Iron Banner armor. All right, next up is the emote wheel. And this is great because this is quadrupling the amount of emotes I can show off, which is effectively quadrupling the amount of storytelling I can do with emotes. But the problem here is that emotes are locked behind bright engrams and are therefore not interesting in terms of storytelling, period. It would be much cooler if I killed Callus on Prestige and I got a robot emote, right? And then I could equip that to one of my 4 emote slots. So let's move on to Masterworks. I like the idea. This is basically kind of a Diablo 3 primal or ancient legendary thing happening. It generates orbs on multi-kills, small stat boost, and tracks enemies and players killed. That's exciting, and dismantling Masterworks gives you crafting material to upgrade another weapon, so you don't have to go around aimlessly looking for the one weapon you want. That's cool, and it is providing a small additional grind. But what I really like about Masterworks is there is a higher drop rate in raids and trials specifically, and that I think is excellent because it's incentivizing more difficult content, which is something I want. Everything past this point, in terms of what I'm going to be talking about, I really like the idea of, but we generally need more details. The first one being ornaments. I didn't play Destiny 1, so I didn't get to experience this. This is a really interesting idea for me, a really cool idea, because it is, instead of adding breadth, adding depth, right? I have to get 25 Crucible wins to get this particular ornament for Season 2 that I can then put on my armor that I already have, that I already like. That's an awesome idea. I would love to see some more difficult achievements, like maybe get 200 headshot kills before the Iron Banner Season 2 is over. I think that would kind of light a fire under your butt to get in Crucible and start doing some of this content. Next up is better incentives for prestige activities. This is excellent. We just need more details on what exactly that is. Interesting loot hunts in the game right now, in my opinion, are the Legend of Acreus and the Trials gear, specifically the Flawless Trials gear. The Legend of Acreus tells a story. You had to go into the raid, you had to do it again, you had to get all of the 10 shards, and then you had to do it in Prestige to get the ornament. So you have all of this storytelling happening with a single item, and I think that should be applied to a bunch of different items, and even things like emotes and ships in Destiny 2. Same thing with Flawless Trials. When I see somebody in a full set, I know that they had to go flawless over a couple of weeks, and that's really cool. Same thing for Heroic Strike playlists and rewards. There could be some really cool rewards there, but we need more details to see exactly what that is. It could totally be a dud, who knows. Anyway, my number one thing that I'm the most excited for from the state of the game Destiny 2 is ranked PvP. I would love to see rewards from attaining a specific rank. I think this gives PvP potentially a really good grind over a longer period of time as opposed to just doing it just when Trials is happening or just when Iron Banner is happening. I could be grinding for a specific rank to get specific rewards for bragging rights. That's great. And this is, again, increasing the level of player engagement. It's increasing the depth as opposed to the breadth of the content. And therefore, I think that's a step in the right direction. So I'm really excited after this update, after seeing State of the Game, to see where Destiny 2 goes. I still have a lot of concerns, especially when it comes to sequels. But for now, I'm definitely satiated, and I'll continue playing Destiny 2. Thank you so much. Toss it back to you.
I am starving. Please subscribe. None of us
subscribe.
We are deliriously hungry, and they won't let us leave until we do the outro.
That was the longest episode in how long? And anyways, also thank you for all the comments, and hopefully Destin will get some food and be all good in the future.
Bye. I'm gonna go eat.
Thanks, guys.
Ah, sorry, Alexio.